I knew I was going to be writing a book about a dog who became a big TV star with his master to follow certain things that happened in my career.
My first guest has interviewed some of the most famous people in the world, from Frank Sinatra and Gore Vidal to Jerry Lewis and Donald Trump. For 11 years, he interviewed these legendary celebrities as host of Midday Live on WNEW in New York. He also has hosted and produced other local and national programs, including Corner Table for the Food Network, and his latest book, The Adventures of Spike the Wonder Dog, sort of parallels his life in broadcasting through the eyes of his dog, Spike. Please welcome my old friend, Bill Boggs, to the counter. Bill, how are you?
Grover Silcox, the main man. Oh, wait a second. That's very private. No, I'm good. You know, in honor of Philadelphia, my hometown, I wore the Lincoln High School ring today.
That makes me feel good, since I'm a fellow graduate of good old Lincoln High in Philadelphia. And my wife, who also went to Lincoln High, said, Bill Boggs, wasn't he that good-looking substitute teacher we had way back when?
I don't know about that, but yeah, growing up in Northeast Philadelphia, my father said, you know, you got to hustle and make a buck. And so all along in my life, I've had multiple jobs. When I was a substitute teacher in Northeast Philadelphia, at the same time while I was managing a comedy team and getting my start in show business, but anything to make a couple bucks and put gas in the tank.
Right.
And I'm still working now with gas in the tank.
Well, I mean, you have interviewed some of the biggest celebrities in the world, really. Let's start with the chairman of the board, Frank Sinatra.
Totally charismatic human being. You could feel his presence even when he was behind you.
Wow. And was that one of your early interviews on Midday?
Well, I took before I started at KYW, right? So I was interviewing people there. Then I went to High Point, North Carolina for 3 years, and I was interviewing a lot of major people down there. So when I got to New York in 1975, I'd already been doing it for 4 years. So Sinatra was in the fall of 75. It was my first year in New York, but my fourth year on television. Been a huge Sinatra fan all my life. Was introduced by his friend Jilly Rizzo
Yes.
at Caesar Palace at 4 o'clock in the morning. Frank and I had a conversation, and at the end of the conversation, he said, Jilly says you have a show in New York on 5. I said, yeah. He said, well, look, I don't want to promise anything. This is April of 75. But I'm going to be I'll be in New York with Basie and Ella in September. Maybe I'll come and do your show. So it was a result of meeting Frank Sinatra and having Frank say that to me that led me to say to Frank, I'm not asking for anything. And he really liked that. And he took my hand. He said, I know you're not. Maybe I'll come. And he did. So that's the story of how Frank came.
How about Sean Connery, the late Sean Connery?
Would you say that essentially your life has been the projection of a fantasy, that you began to start acting and you've ended up as such a successful star and so forth?
I don't know where the fantasy begins and the reality ends.
Sean Connery, he was 44 years old when I interviewed him. I think he was at the peak of his personal beauty. It's a really handsome man. But his eyes, his eyes had like egg whites or whites. He had the most crystal clear eyes I've ever looked at.
Wow, you have a lot of visual memories. I mean, you really remembered what they look like and how that made you feel. It's very interesting, as much as what they said.
You know, it's interesting because these 450 interviews on the YouTube channel, some of them I've never even looked at. They were live when we taped them.
Right.
I just put them up. But I did watch the Sean Connery interview the other day because somebody had a question for me.
Right.
And so that's why his face is fresh in my mind.
Midday, which went for 11 years in New York City, was like the primo show to be on, and almost like a network show.
I had 10 years on the Food Network interviewing celebrities, including Sophia Loren.
I want to know what Sophia Loren thinks of American pizza. Like, you know, when you go into a store and say, I'll have a slice and a Coke.
You know, pizza is very simple to do, and even in America is good. But sometimes they put too many things on it.
I had a show there on the Food Network called Bill Boggs Corner Table, and it was an idea of mine. I would sit down with celebrities in their favorite restaurants. It was like a scam. I got the Food Network.
Yeah, all
It'd
right.
be really good money. Go to the best restaurants in America, sit down, eat for free, and be on television. So
Right.
I cashed a check for the day I had lunch with Sophia Loren. I did know I cashed a check.
How was Sophia? How was she?
Sophia Loren has the most gorgeous green eyes and olive skin. She was really gracious.
Wow. And we should mention that you're still going strong, and some of these fantastic interviews that you've had in your career are available for people to see now on BillBoggsTV on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right. Almost anybody you mentioned will be on BillBoggsTV and YouTube. I love when people go and subscribe.
You're a talk show host, but really your role is to be a great listener, which of course you are, and were through all those interviews. I want to ask you about your latest book, The Adventures of Spike the Wonder Dog. He was actually, this English Bull Terrier was your dog, right?
Yeah, it's a book about this kind of dog. This, by the way, this is a Spike the Wonder Dog bank. The first person to buy 1,000 copies of the book, I come to your house and give you the time, stay at your house, cook dinner for you, and do whatever you want. Yeah, English Bull Terrier. I had a dog named Spike, one dog in my talk show in Philadelphia. The story, it's a dog story, and it's a kid satire, and it's designed to make you laugh. And the dog is narrating the story, and we've had a lot of comedians, from Andrew Dice Clay, Lisa Lampanelli, Judy Gold, to name three of several. Al Weibel really get behind the book. This is the book. It is an English Bull Terrier who becomes a huge TV star. His master is a guy like me named Bud. So it's loosely patterned on my career, but the whole point is designed to make you laugh.
Just a terrific book, and it's an easy read, and it's just fun. It's like a little, a little ride through Spike's life and your life combined.
The thing that makes me really happy is, in spite of the fact we haven't gotten a review by the Philadelphia Inquirer, if you're watching.
Oh, they need to do that.
The thing that makes me most happy is that every single blurb, every single review mentioned laugh out loud funny.
Yes. And folks can get it at the bookstores and online, Amazon, etc., right?
Orderspike.com. It's on Amazon. It's a hardback, a Kindle, and it's also now available in Audible.
Well, Bill, I want to thank you so much. You are like the big brother of talk show hosts, for all of us who are in the field.
We got the real big brother coming up with Marcus Allen. That man is doing really good work. I'd like to meet him someday. Thank you very much, Grover. Good health to you. Remember, your health is your wealth. Everything is pinned on that simple fact. Stay healthy and well.
You got it, pal, and right back at you. Thank you so much. Always nice to have a fellow Philadelphian and Lincoln High School graduate on the show. Bill Boggs, a pro who discovered early on that a great talk show host must, by definition, be a great listener and someone who really savors what his guests have to say.
Winston Groom, author of Forrest Gump, says that Bill Boggs and his friend Spike the Wonder Dog unleash comedic wizardry in this madcap, highly entertaining satiric novel. Spike is the newest canine literary hero to take on the world with hilarious results.